My name is Sean. I like to podcast. So warm up the mic and let's get our freak on. Shabuya roll call.
My name is Gary. I'm down with Shelly. She's got the butter. I got the jelly. Roll call. Shabuya, shabuya, roll call.
Hey everybody, this is Sean. I am your mashed potatoes. Matt Whitney is the peas. And our main course of the evening is a delicious pan-seared chicken breast with a little bit of peppercorn on top and maybe a little bit of lemon juice squeezed right on top. Perfection. Sarah McAllister is our guest on tonight's podcast, and we have a great conversation about starting and operating your own business. I throw in my 2 cents talking about my photography career, and then we talk to Sarah about her just now starting out on her own, starting her own business, and we get down and dirty. So enjoy the podcast. And before I go, always remember, never record a podcast intro when you're hungry, because you might describe your guest as a delicious chicken breast with peppercorn and lemon. That's just crazy. God, I'm so hungry right now.
Listen!
Cabin fever. Cabin fever.
1,000 times I sometimes see you pass outside my door.
Hello, it's me.
Is it me you're looking for?
How are you?
Hi, oh my god, I'm so glad to see you.
Yeah,
I love you guys. I'm so happy to be here.
yeah, we're
No,
glad
I'm
you
glad
could
you
come
could
back.
make it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a while. That's it.
I think like maybe right before the new year, was I here?
Was it? Yeah, or right after.
Shoot, I don't
I don't
even
know.
know.
We're-
I know.
We're almost
Time
4
is
months
so
into this
changing.
year. I feel like it's going fast, but I feel like it's not at the same time.
Right,
Like,
yeah. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's been a good solid 3 months already.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, especially for you, it's about to take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming back to the cabin.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, should we just get into it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do this Would You Rathers, or should we say?
Yeah, do you want to warm up with a couple of Would You Rathers? We
Yeah,
haven't
let's
done
do
that in
that.
a long time.
Yeah.
Cue the music.
Cue it.
Listen!
Alright, first Would You Rather. Alright, every time you walk, you have to do some kind of dance move for 2
Question
years.
for
Or,
you. 2 years. Oh, I see it.
or choose one thing to eat for the rest of your life. And one thing could be pizza, it could be a burger, it could be something like that. You know, you can get some vegetables and meat.
Do I get to pick the dance move?
You can do any dance move you want. So you can do some disco moves, you can do a little cha-cha.
So, like,
Yeah.
as you walk, you have to do
you
it.
gotta have a little dance, little wiggle to the step.
Well, that actually sounds exciting to me.
It does
So
sound
I'm gonna
fun,
go
and
with
it's
the
only 2
dance
years.
move. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna fly by.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. The dance.
It'll be. I figured I'd be the best pop locker by the end of those 2 years.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, you have so much practice.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
then-
just practice every dance move, waltz, cha-cha,
Yeah.
whatever else is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if someone asks you what you're doing, you say, well, I didn't want to eat pizza for the rest of my life.
Right. And then be
That's
like,
why I'm doing
crazy?
it.
It's all day.
I'd pick the dance moves.
Dance
too.
moves, yeah.
Because I can't imagine just eating them.
It'd be fun. You know,
Yeah, it'd
people
be
might
fun.
look at you funny, but hey, you're enjoying life,
They
right?
already do, you know.
Yeah. I'm already not fully immersed in my job, so if I'm
Right.
walking around just like
Yeah,
dancing too,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Matt's really been upbeat at work.
I should just do it anyway.
Give him a raise.
The days that you're like feel like shit, you're just like shuffling your feet around.
Right.
Head down.
Yeah.
Sway
got
side
it.
to
Yeah.
side,
Yeah. It's not as big today. Yeah.
So would you rather know when you're going to die or know how you're going to die?
Wow, you just took
I
a
know.
That
It's gonna
just
get
went
hard.
in a
Yep.
way different
It
direction.
can't all be fun and games. Take would you rather very seriously. Fever, by the way. Very serious.
Wait, when or how?
So yeah, the
Oh,
first
God.
one is know when you're going to die, and the other option is know how you're going to die.
Wow. That's hard.
Yep.
Both
Well-
of those are stressful because then you're just going to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
Knowing how, at the same time, entices more fear and eliminates fear.
Yeah.
So that's really a tough one. I feel
Yeah.
like knowing when would be more advantageous because you could be like, okay, I have this long to like pursue
True.
whatever it is that I want to pursue.
Yeah.
Right.
What's on the bucket list?
Yeah.
Because if you know, if it says like, oh, you're going to like fall, you know.
That could happen.
Yeah, you'd just be so overly
paranoid.
Afraid
cautious.
of
Yeah.
falling.
Yeah.
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 Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
So probably when.
When?
I take when.
Yeah, I guess so
When?
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with you guys.
That's a good point.
When for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
kind
we
of.
just philosophize the shit out of that. Would you rather?
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. Yeah.
Boom. So it's
Wow.
done. All right, we'll do one more. All right, have an easy job working for someone else, or work for yourself, but work incredibly hard.
Oh.
That's kind of fitting for this podcast.
Yeah.
Depending on where we take it.
Option two. Sorry, I didn't mean
Oh, no,
didn't
no.
interrupt you.
Yeah, I
I was
was not
gonna-
thinking about that.
I was just
for
gonna
me.
jump in and say too because I already have an easy job.
Oh,
when I'm
right.
working with someone else. and
Yeah.
I would take anything else at this point.
Right, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, first off, just for me, having worked at Costco, having done Domino's, I've done other crappy jobs, working for yourself is the most fulfilling thing, even though you are working a long time. Like, for me, typically I'm always working on something. It doesn't matter. I'm not necessarily 24/7 working on it, but here or there, I'm always doing a little marketing, a little answering emails, actually physically doing my work, doing my job, editing photos, so it's like always a constant thing. So I'd much rather be doing that than working for somebody else and having to do some manual
Right.
boring
Right.
task or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Every ounce you're putting into all those things is all coming back to you.
Exactly.
somehow.
So, you know, like say you build your own home, you're going to take much more pride and care in your home, and you know exactly where everything is. So it's like when you do things your own, way better.
Well, it's just done the way that you want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you also have to learn working for other different types of clients. They all want things differently, but you know, once you figure out what they want, good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my last Would You Rather, and yeah, pretty much I just have on the books is just kind of talking about entrepreneurship and maybe just touching base with you on kind of your journey and how it's going with you so far, and
Sweet.
because you took a big step at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, I quit my job and I started to create my own business and my own branding and my own identity as a
Yep.
photographer.
Do you want to back up a little bit? Just say like what you were doing and like what led to the transition.
Yeah, I was working at a boudoir studio, a very popular boudoir studio in San Diego. So I was photographing women predominantly every day, and I also had duties in office. I was doing social media and just kind of helping run the show over there as a small business. So I was there for about 4 years, and I was getting restless, and I kind of had hit my mark as far as how much I could make working there. And I love boudoir, and I still love shooting it, but I was getting bored with the environment, and I wanted to start photographing my own things and pursuing my own gigs. And so after, mulling it over and thinking about it and deciding that it was the right thing for me to do, I gave my notice and I started to create my own company, or my own business, I guess, not really a company, my own branding, my own niche, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And
Which is a big deal, and a lot of people don't think about what really goes along with creating a business. There's a lot of, like, details stuff you got to really work out, so it's not just like, I'm going to get a website, and now I'm a photographer. Like, there's a lot of details that go into creating a business, then getting your name out there, so
Right.
I applaud you. I'm like, I like what you're doing so far.
Thank
So far,
you.
it's going very well. Like, I love your brand. Your website looks amazing.
Thank
Got your
you.
Instagrams going.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I'm very excited watching
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I right now I haven't been booking as many clients as I had initially anticipated. However, I know it's the season. It's going to start picking up, and I knew it was going to be kind of slow building because I think for my part of photography or what I'm focusing on, especially, it's very like word of mouth oriented. So once I take someone's photo, they're going to tell their friends.
Yep.
Their friends are going to hire me. They're going to hire me for other events and whatever. And right now I'm really just photographing. I'm taking any job that I can get right now just to kind of dip my toes in.
Yeah.
Get my toes wet and
So
just try out.
what's the specific area that you're photographing?
Well, I'm working on photographing females in nature predominantly right now, and dance photography, headshots. I've been doing a lot of headshots. I've also done a couple session, and I have a wedding booked for July right now.
Congrats.
So,
Those are the big ones.
thank
Big
you.
money right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So is that what you mainly want to focus on? Is more like the dance photography headshots?
yeah, dance, nature. I mean, I want to shoot boudoir as well, but I'm just trying to give a little bit. I don't want to call it boudoir. I'm trying to separate myself from my old business because my style is very different than what I was taught. You know, I definitely have retained. I know a lot of what I know based off of experience that I gained there, but I've definitely developed my own style within
That's what
that.
being an
And
artist
so,
is
yeah.
forming your own point of
Yeah,
view.
so I would like to do that, but I don't want to necessarily market myself as that right now. Just to kind of create some space between me and my former job, basically.
Right.
But I love doing that. I love shooting women. I love photographing nature. Dance is, my first joy and passion, and so I feel like dancers can just create beautiful lines, so I feel like it makes for a really, really interesting photograph, especially if it's transposed against something cool architecturally or in nature specifically is what I'm into. A tree branch or a sunset or, whatever is there. But ultimately, I really would like to make art pieces and do kind of like gallery work. I mean, I know that's really lofty and everybody wants to be an artist, but that's really, I'm not trying to go after 1 million clients and get 1 million clients. I'm trying to create something that's really fucking cool looking and that resonates with people that they want to have in their home, put in their home.
That's cool.
So ultimately, that's the goal.
Yeah. I saw that you photographed like some dancers already.
Yeah.
How do you decide on like where you're gonna take like a specific person, and like the setting that you're gonna photograph? Like I saw some, I think it was like near your house. It was like on the bridge or like in the road and stuff like that. Like, is that something you plan out, or is it you kind of just go where it's gonna take you, or?
Well, it kind of depends on the shoot. If somebody's hiring me and they have an idea, I'm going to try and accommodate whatever their idea is as far as where they want to go. If they're hiring me and they don't really have very much of an idea, I'm going to try and feel them out for what kind of vibe they want, and then I'm going to scout out a spot.
Okay.
And find a spot that we can go.
Okay.
It can be limiting when you have a client that say, like, I love to shoot in Dos Picos Park in Ramona, but they live in like Imperial Beach. It's like you can't have your client drive up there to shoot unless they're really down for it,
Right.
Whereas if you're shooting with a friend or a model, they're down for whatever, and so you can be kind of more wild, I guess, with choosing your locations. But I just really feel out who I'm photographing, and go from there.
Just let it go from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you should plug the name of your.
Oh, L'Imperatrice.
Definitely spell that out.
It's L'Imperatrice. It's French for the Empress, and the Empress is the third card in the tarot, and it is a female energy card, even though everybody has Empress energy, but it's the force is female when you compare the feminine to the masculine. And it's about sensuality and creativity and magic and creation, basically. Yeah, it's just about creating beautiful things and being in nature and putting your toes in the ground and just like being who you are. I'm really into magic, so I always have, and I'm into I have
The C or a K?
kind of a whatever, however you want to spell it, Sean. Yeah.
Well, there's two different forms of it. The K and the
Yeah.
C.
Well, yeah, that's what they say. I think it's more K oriented
Yeah.
from what I understand about what I like to practice.
Yeah.
But
The C is more like card tricks and shit like that.
yeah, I'm more into like magic from like an alchemical standpoint.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the point is that there's magic in everything. There's our life is magic. So I'm trying not to, I want to be me because it's really important for my business because it is so personal to me and it is just me as my business, that I'm really genuine and I'm really true to who I am and what I want to portray. At the same time, I'm not trying to like freak people out and be like, I'm a magician, I'm a witch, and I read tarot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to find this balance between,
Yeah.
I mean, my aesthetic kind of speaks for itself. If you see my photos, you can kind of tell like what vibe I'm going for, but yeah, so that's interesting. You want to be yourself, but you don't want to alienate people. But I firmly believe that the right people come to you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The clients that you're supposed to
for
have
sure.
are coming to you because they're drawn to you and what you do, and yeah, so it's good. It's good.
That's cool. And then you did like a gallery pretty recently, right?
Yeah, my friend Patrick, he was in charge of Boom Bap Tuesdays at Bar Dynamite, and they have an art show every month there, and
Is that just a way to kind of get artists together, commingle, and...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just a local art show, and it's nothing fancy. It's just at Bar Dynamite, but it's cool. You get people together. You get local artists doing all different kinds of things. There was a jewelry maker there. Sequoia brought her art. She does acrylic on plexiglass. I had photos. Another person was kind of like a street artist and did spray paint. So a bunch of different people and music, and it was just really cool for me to actually, print out my photos and think of how I was going to display them and portray my business and have people come by and look at it and be attracted to it and have everybody tell you, I like that one because of this reason. I like this one because of that reason, and people point things out in your art that you didn't even see.
Oh, yeah.
So you're just like, cool. And I'm not like a snob at all. So like, I'm never like, what is art? Like, I don't give a fuck about what art is or what isn't. If you create something and somebody likes it, to me that's art. So yeah.
Totally agree.
So yeah.
Love that.
It was really cool. A bunch of friends came out. A bunch of my family, my mom and dad came.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not their typical scene, probably.
Not their typical
Yeah.
scene, but they were cute and they hung out for a
Awesome.
while and they
That's
talked to
great.
people and they were supportive, and it's been really good. It's been really, really good for me, and I feel like the happiest I've ever been because I have so much freedom. I mean, I'm fairly broke right now. I'm making it me, I'm making ends meet. I don't have any extra money, but it's like I don't even give a fuck. Like, I don't even care because I'm so happy to be able to do what I'm doing with my time and know that I'm working towards something that is meaningful to me and will make me money. Like, it's just like we're so ass backwards with go to work for somebody else, this just to survive. And it's just like, life shouldn't be about that,
That's really what I want to just kind of spread to people. I just want them to think about what is really their passion in life and then go from there and go for it. There's no reason to be working a crazy 9-to-5. 9-to-5 jobs, I don't even know if that's real. Like, it's like a 9 to 7 or 7 to 7, It's like, it's crazy the type of hours that people are working for other people and really making peanuts compared to the higher ups, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like, I just want people to break away and do your own thing. It's gonna suck for a while. You know, you're not gonna have money, but you're gonna feel so much better. It doesn't matter, you know. You got to. I still do it. I still shop thriftily, you know, but I still make a decent amount of money. I've been doing it for a while, but I'm still always, because we are always on the hustle. Like, there's no guaranteed money at all. So you're always hustling. You're always trying to stay ahead of the curve, especially with technology and things like that. I'm always thinking, like, is photography even going to be a viable thing in 20 years? Like, is everyone just going to have, like, an amazing camera in their phone that they're just going to take beautiful photos? And then why would they hire a photographer to come to their event or do anything? So it's like, I'm always trying to think ahead.
Yeah.
I think it will be an art form that'll be around for a long time.
I do too, because I
I
don't
mean-
think you can really take out the human.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more that goes to being a photographer and being a visual artist than just having the equipment, you know. So there will always be, especially you're more towards the artistic, which I love and which I want to get more into, and that's kind of my plan in the future. But it is just it's a fun thing to plunge into, and I really hope more people do it. I just want people to start their own businesses. I mean, that's what it was like back in the day. People had their own little shops, their own little things, and they were just doing their own thing, and it was great. It was awesome. So
Totally.
my plan is to get Matt to do something, anything, and
Matt, I would
break
love
away,
for you to
break
do
those
that.
chains off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
takes time though,
It
because
really
you have
does.
to sit with yourself and
Yeah.
like you have to know yourself to, one, know what you kind of want to do, and two, to be able to block out the doubts and the doubts that other people might have about you going out on your own, or the doubts that you might have about yourself, you know, and just really go for it. I mean, everybody's given something unique to share with the world, and people will say, well, I'm good at this, but like it can't make you any money. Well, like, you got to get creative in your thinking, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
it can,
Yeah.
but like, you seek the passion and what you get from it before the money, and the money will come.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard that reflected time and time again. You know, just exactly that. Just pursuing your passion, and then everything else will kind of just follow suit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's so like, such a cliche fucking thing to say. Like, just pursue your passion.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
Well, you have to be realistic too. You know,
Yes.
like you said, like you're gonna work hard. You know?
Really hard for
Yeah.
many, many hours.
Mm-hmm.
Many hours. And you'll have to give up time with friends and a bunch of other stuff
Yeah,
that goes along with
the
the
safety
pressure.
net.
Yeah, the safety net for sure
Yeah.
is a big one. And then whole nother layer with doing taxes is different. Well, actually, you get to write off a lot of shit, so that's kind of great, especially when you're running your own business. Like, your vehicle is your business. All that stuff gets written off, so that's great on that aspect. But still, whatever money you're making, you have to think, like, I still have to keep a little nest egg just in case
Right.
you do end up owing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, IRS.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have no nest egg right now. But I don't think I'm naive. I'm just not worried about it. I
No,
just,
don't
like,
be, yeah.
It comes to me like the second that I'm like, oh shit, I need a job right now.
Yeah.
I put it out there and a job comes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's an easy thing, but it's like, I really do think if you have the right mindset about it, that takes you just so much farther than like, because I used to look at money like it was this like evil thing almost that I just like needed, like I hated it, and like it was this thing that like controlled me, and it just like, and when you look at it that way, like, of course it's not going to come to you.
You're right,
You know
right,
what
exactly.
I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're like, it's just this thing that you're like holding on to. But
Right.
I saw a psychic. I've seen a couple, and she was like, she didn't say you're looking at money the wrong way, but she was like, you're looking at money the wrong way. You know, like picture yourself surrounded by a pink light and keep saying, I am abundant, I am abundant. And she said, all money is an exchange, a token, a sign of appreciation for goods and services. So somebody is just saying, when you give somebody your money, thank you for whatever, and
Yeah.
that makes it, that's more, that has more movement to it. Like, money is so, like, cold and, like, stale to a lot of people, which, like, it actually fucking is. But, like, in order to move in the world, we have to do this, you know? If you look at it as a sign of an appreciation and exchange, it just changes things.
Uh-huh.
It just, like, you appreciate the money that people give you for your work more, and you spend your money more wisely, because you're like,
yeah.
do I really appreciate whatever it is I'm spending my money on? And, yeah, so that was a huge change for me, to be able to look at it differently, than just, like, this, like, thing that was controlling me that I needed.
Like you're
all the
pressured
time.
to,
Like, just
you gotta
pressure.
earn it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
gotta do something I don't like doing to get this thing.
Yeah, exactly. And being like a slave to it, essentially. Like,
yep.
I know people have said that time and time again, but it's because it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's
Yeah.
a great way of putting it, because
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I think of it as like energy tokens. I'm like, I'm putting in the energy, they're going to give me energy tokens because I'm putting my energy into it, and they're willing to give me money. Because when you're running your own business, it's so rare that people actually hand you cash money. It's usually they're PayPaling you, they're giving you a check. So you don't ever actually hold the money. It just goes in your bank account, and it just becomes these numbers, and you're just like, it's so weird.
And it's
that,
so
you know,
separate.
It's
Like,
very
I'm just so
separate, yeah.
disconnected from it.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's so weird. So weird.
It is.
Yeah.
I
It's
guess
like,
we got
what
to
do
do
you-
something. I don't
Like,
know.
what do you think your relationship to money is? Like, where, like, for me, it was like, I felt, my parents were always fairly well off. I mean, they weren't rich by any means. They were very middle class, but my dad worked really hard for his money, and, you know, my mom, she worked too, even though she didn't really have to, but it's like, it was always something that, like, I felt was the impression I got from my father, and he's an incredible person, but it was just like something that it came first before anything else.
Yeah.
Not love, like he was loving, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
that, but just like when it came to living your life and pursuing a career, it was like, well, what about the money? What about
Right.
the money?
Right.
You know, and it's just like, well, it's important, but it's not
Everything.
it's not meaningful to life
Right.
at all.
Right. Yeah, I think that's definitely like a generational thing too. Like our parents' generation and things like that. Maybe it was just more of a priority, and you really didn't give a second thought. I mean, I know
just
that's
like sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
Just like with politics, it takes a long time for things to move. You know,
Yeah.
When you get in there, so you got to think about, okay, our parents were raised by our grandparents, and our grandparents were raised by our great grandparents. So it's like it was a very different time back then.
It was.
So
Yeah.
it's hard for people to transition and the way of thinking to change unless someone really sits down and thinks about it and meditates on it and tries to figure life out or what they want in life. Other than that, you're just going to going along, doing the same thing that everyone else around you is doing. So you feel like, okay, that's the way to do it, I guess. So you just go along, and then money becomes the most important thing. And you got to think, being a man, you want to be able to provide for your family, give them everything they want, and you're going to do whatever it takes, even if that means working 12-hour days and not seeing your
Yeah.
family.
And he always
unfortunately,
did. You know what I mean? He always did. Like,
was working a hardcore job too
Yeah.
here in San Diego. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as like an adult now, I see how much of that is ingrained in me from my parents and stuff like that, because they just work really hard, and I have such a my block comes from like walking away from that life, because I know it just seems in my mind like a huge step and endeavor, and it's probably not as big as I make it out to be, but it's also like everything that I know and that I came up in, and like working these kind of jobs. And it's not to say that they're not entirely, like, I think that I found meaning within it, definitely, through like personal, like, you know, in like my industry, like we're of service to others and we provide a service, and you find meaning in that, like the way you approach individuals and the way you talk to people. And it's certainly given me skills that I'd never anticipated, as far as like how to just how to talk to people and how to communicate well and stuff, and professionally and everything like that, even in like a pretty like small environment like the way I have. But for me personally, like I'm such a curious person, and I do like to get creative and things like that. And it's always been like an internal struggle to kind of like break away from that kind of lifestyle and really kind of set forth on another one. And that's not even like creatively, that's just even like with my education and things like that, you know. It's just, I'm always kind of like wading in and then kind of like coming back and wading in. It's just where
When you do that, are you just kind of assessing where you're at? Do you like where you're heading? And then if you don't, there's nothing wrong with coming back and then
Right.
trying something else.
it's all been like practicality though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
said, like where's the money at? Where's the
Yeah.
money at? I'm like, well, I guess there's opportunity here. My admission though is that the older I've gotten, the less and less those things have become appealing. You know, like
Right.
I scroll through job openings within my company and the possibilities of transferring to other buildings and stuff, and it always kind of sounds nice, but then when I really think about it, I'm like, it sounds nice because it just gets me away from this building. It puts me in another one. And I'm just trading. I'm not really, you know, there's no real difference, you know, except for the environment. And then I'm taking on opportunities to learn new things, but it's just to learn new things. It's not like, I don't really think it's like speaking to any like really personal passion or anything like that. It's really just like, okay, well, I've done this for a while and now I'm going to go do this because it's different.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's hard to admit,
I mean,
but
you
it's just
are
like, that's where
accruing
I'm at.
tools,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
You're accruing these different jobs you're doing, different things you're doing. You're still accruing different perspectives and different ideas. So, not necessarily doing anything wrong.
No.
Well, it
Yeah.
could hit
And you
you
will
too.
find something that just rings with you.
Yeah,
Right.
It could hit you like a flash of like a bolt of lightning. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's on the most unassuming day, and it's a spark of an idea, and then you're like, "This excites me. I want to go towards it."
It's time for
Yeah, exactly. Like it's time for you to trip your ass
Yeah.
off.
Well, I'll just bounce this off you guys real quick.
Yeah.
And I found that what I like to do, and I don't know if it's worth anything. Well, I think it's worth something, but it's like what I found that I like a lot is when people, especially more creative types and stuff, tell me about their ideas and bounce them off me, and then I'm able to kind of synthesize what they're saying and bring something else to their attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a firm grasp on what that is, or even if that's a real thing, but I can tell you that I really like it. And for
You're
example,
like the utility player who can bounce around and you could give your 2 cents, and doesn't mean you have to like dive completely into that project, but you can like, hey, this is also a cool thing to work or think about.
Right.
Think about it this way or something like that.
Right.
'Cause you give me a bunch of great ideas for the animated thing I want to do, and I'd love to work on that with you, you know, because I feel like you'd bring a lot to the table. So
right,
there's a bunch of different creative projects you can.
Well, you
Dip
have
your
an
toes
open
in.
mind. You
right.
have an open mind. And
Yeah,
a creative
yeah.
spirit, so you're a good person to talk to
Yep.
about creative ventures and things that people want to do. But you are rational and practical, so that works well with you as well, because you can
Yeah, I can kind of see both sides of it.
and you
Right.
can dodge bullets before they come.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just
that's
a matter
good
of
skill to have.
it's just a
Totally.
matter of like honing in, I guess, on that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing, because I've always been, that's the only thing I've really been in tune to, where I kind of like, it really gets me going,
Mm-hmm.
and I enjoy it.
Because you've done some great creative stuff in the past.
Yeah.
You did your album, which is amazing, your Credence cover, which is phenomenal. I mean, that was a huge amount of work that you just pretty much dove into for like 6 months, maybe more.
Yeah,
You were doing that,
that's
man?
my baby. It was
Yeah,
nine,
man.
9 months.
9 months,
That,
yeah.
that rekindled my love for CCR. Like, I knew some songs, but like after listening to your album, I went out and I got their record, and like
Nice.
I love CCR because
We should have you on
of your
because
album.
we're planning on doing a director's cut of his CD and going over each individual song and talking about like the artist, how, you know, the creative development that took to create the album. So
Yeah.
it'd be cool to have like another point of view on there to kind of talk about each song or your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just trying to say that you affected my life.
Oh, I appreciate that.
in many ways.
You do?
So we'll,
Matt,
we'll
you-
just start with that one.
I think that has affected a lot of people's lives, like seriously.
Yeah.
Like, you really have,
Now
yeah.
you're gonna embarrass me. Thank you.
Okay.
It's true
Foolish
though, right,
sentiment.
Sarah? A lot of
Yeah.
people.
No, it is. We're just trying to be real. Become an original right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
Because, you gotta tell your friends when you love them.
I think that's important too. Spread the love. I don't think enough people tell their friends. Well, at least guys don't do it often. We do because we're on a podcast and.
And your lovers. Not like
Right.
you two are lovers, but your lovers as people.
Yeah, that's
Unless
true.
there's
Yes.
something I don't
Yeah.
know about.
Nope.
That was supposed to be like a funny joke starter.
Brokeback
But
River
okay.
edition.
Yeah.
We'll just cut it out right there. Then
Brokeback
come
Cabin.
Yeah, Brokeback Cabin.
Matt has a girlfriend, everybody.
She's a great cover. No. Oh, we have some great beer tonight.
What is it, Sierra Nevada?
Yeah, Sierra Nevada beer camp. It's tropical IPA. Good stuff. Tropical tastiness.
Well, before we get too far off of it, though, where can people reach you, or where should they go to see your work and things like that? If they want to plug it.
Thank you. Limperatricephoto.com. Again, it's LIMPERATRICE. And I also have an Instagram at limperatricephoto. My personal Instagram is at SarahBear143, SarahBear143. And that's where you can go if you want to see my work and my kind of creepy, mystical aesthetic, I guess. I can't really describe it.
I think that's a good description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
See what it's about. If you're not into magic, that's cool. You don't have to be into magic, but if you want some really badass portraits of yourself or your family or something kind of unique, I'm your girl because I'm really down to create and collaborate.
I think I'm thinking right now of the pictures you did with Natalie, and not knowing, even me not knowing oh, there's this idea of magic or anything behind that. They're just really cool, different,
Thank you.
So it invokes in me this this is different. I'm gonna look at it a little bit longer because it's not something I see typically, but it's so well
Thank
done
you.
though at the same time, So I think well, whatever you have going for you is working really well.
Thank you, Maddie.
Were you at that art show? Were you selling prints too, or is
I
that?
did sell a print.
Oh, you did.
I
Oh,
wasn't
okay, cool.
planning on it, but I was open to it, and I did sell a print. I had some unique 11 by 17, kind of bigger, and then I had some 8 by 8s, kind of square,
Uh-huh.
the Instagram thing, which is in. And I sold an 8 by 8.
Cool.
So that was exciting. And I actually just went and met my friend who bought one of my 11 by 17s. And I'm actually ordering him another print of it. And my mom bought one too.
Oh, cool.
So I did sell some stuff, and I'm hoping that I can just get better and get some even more nicer quality prints and sell some more, because ultimately, like I said, that's what I really want. I really want to have this be something, not just something that you can see on your computer or on Instagram, but something that you can hang in your house and that means something to you or evokes some sort of emotion when you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just say one more thing about the photos you were talking about with Natalie. There's this picture that I took of her, and it's so simple. She's standing there. She's just standing there. She has her arms by her side, and she's wearing this incredible branch crown that her mom made her. And normally, some people would just look at it and just be whatever, it doesn't affect me, but the way her expression is just this light but intense expression at the same time, and there's just this little bit of sun wrapping around her hair, on her left side, and it's like there's just something so incredibly magical about that picture to me. And she's just standing there. Like, there's nothing like wildly technical about it or super unique per se, but it's stunning every time I look at it. You know,
That's
I'm
cool.
staying in my bathroom right now.
Oh, cool.
That's
Yeah.
beauty of photography, because you literally are capturing like a split second, like those light photons. They're never ever going to be like that ever again, and you just happen to capture it perfectly. That's like opening up a present on Christmas. Like when you put it on your computer, like, yes,
Yeah.
this turned out exactly how I wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really incredible feeling.
Totally, Sean.
Yeah.
If anything, it's like, yeah, you can share it with other people, but you get the satisfaction of
Right.
like, wow, and it doesn't even matter if anybody else thinks that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I love that photo and that light in her hair
Yeah.
at that moment.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it'll never be recreated again. It'll never
Yeah.
be the same again. And that's photography.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Last year, I got to go down to Mexico, down like south into Baja, and with a friend of mine, and it was just like such a unique place that we were at, and like unlike any other place I'd ever been. And I took like a ton of pictures on my phone, and I started really to get into it because it just, I don't know, like the whole experience, like down in Mexico, like a different country and things like that. And it was kind of like the terrain reminded me of a mix between like the desert or like what we have here in San Diego and Hawaii, because it was like this flat like desert, but then you'd go into these huge lush like green mountains and stuff, and we were right on the ocean and things like that. So there were trees and like boats, and like obviously it's like Mexico, so like the way they paint the design of their houses and stuff is like super unique, and tiled pools and whatnot. And so I'm just like taking pictures after picture of all this stuff that I think is really cool. And my friend's parents were like going nuts over these pictures I took, because like they vacationed down there, and they're like, wow, like you took these incredible pictures and that stuff. And I was like kind of like bashful at first, but like it made me feel so good, like to have them react to like these, because I knew in the moment, like I was seeing these like really cool, the way these palm trees were lined up was like really cool, and I like really wanted to like capture it and stuff like that. And I'd never just been like that before. And
Yeah.
I ended up for Christmas, like I printed out a bunch and like framed them and gave them to them as gifts, and they were like so stoked on it. And it was like, I feel like I got a taste for what you guys do, and it was super rewarding just to see something that I saw and that other people see it too now. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's the thing about it, is that you can give 10 photographers the exact same location and thing to shoot, and they will all shoot it different.
Yeah.
Because that is the human perspective, and that's what you got to have a taste of, like, experiencing, like, I see this way, and then to share it with somebody and have them be like, dang, like, your perspective is really cool. I mean, that's really ultimately what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, look at your, like, this is really cool, or I see something the same way you do. Like, that just, it's really transcendent. Like, I'm not trying to get all, like, artsy up in here, but it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's meaningful. It's important. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt like, because I'm like, you know, probably tons of people have taken pictures of the same thing, you know, but for them to react like in a way that I was feeling when I took it was just something I hadn't experienced before. So it was pretty neat.
It's badass.
Yeah. Maybe you want to take more.
You should keep doing it.
Yeah, no, I
think
definitely,
everyone should.
I definitely want to invest in like a nicer camera.
Yeah.
And really, there are days when I'm like, have some free time where I'm like, you know, this could be a time when I really just kind of like start driving, go somewhere cool, and just like kind of see what happens. Like I kind of feel that, you know.
Yeah, when I first started, I would just go to Balboa Park and just walk around for hours and hours, and then you start discovering like new parts of Balboa you didn't even know about, and you're just taking pictures all over the place, and just things like that, or go to the beach, go on a hike, anything really, wherever you find inspiration.
And it gets you outside too, which is
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I like about it a lot.
What about Sean Evans photography?
Yeah,
Where's
let's
that
talk
been
about
headed
Sean
lately?
Evans.
Because I know you've been doing some exciting stuff with Amazon.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of food photography with Amazon.com. They're doing like this new delivery service, so I've been able to go to all these different restaurants all over San Diego, and yeah, it's been a nice, you know, good recurring gig, and I just love doing food photography too. Like it's
How hungry are you?
Oh, I'm always hungry afterwards. I do, luckily, every once in a while get to sample some of the dishes. It all depends on, the restaurant, the people that are doing it. But yeah, I've been able to get some good food out of it, which has been nice. With my photography business, unfortunately, I've strayed from the artistic side, and I've just been I do a lot of real estate, I do the occasional wedding, I do more events, like corporate events, than I do weddings, so with that stuff, it doesn't really take too much, people aren't looking for creative flair, really, depending on what they're looking for, especially with the corporate events and things like that, so I've just been kind of stuck in this haze of doing, the same thing over and over, very repetitive. I'm good at what I do, and I'm lucky enough, I've got recurring clients and things like that, but I've gotten to the point where I'm doing what I love, but it's still gotten a little stale, so that's kind of in conjunction with me getting this van. I kind of just want to make a clean break and just be free, and eventually I just want to start traveling up along the California coast and just getting back to my roots and photographing things that I love, and that would be, different landscapes. I really love landscape photography, just being by the ocean, things like that I really enjoy. So that's where I want to kind of take my photography career in the future. Yeah, I've got it.
Oh, you got it?
Oh, yeah, I've had it since July. So now I'm slowly working on it, getting it ready. I've got solar panels over here that I'm going to put on. So I'm going to make it completely livable, self-sufficient. I've got a composting toilet I'm going to put in there. And the van is fully equipped. It's got a kitchen, burner, stove, running water, a shower. So it's I'll still be comfortable, but I just won't be paying rent.
Right.
I'll be able to travel and do whatever I want and save up a bunch of money because I just want to be able to travel the world, really. After going down to South America, I'm I got to start doing more traveling. I got to take my photography all over the place because I just love photographing what's around me, and I enjoy doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I just want to get back to my creative side and if I can make money doing the creative stuff, then great. If not, I'll keep doing that.
You can do that.
I could do both. I just need to find a good balance. Right now, it's been way off balance right now. Yeah. So I'm slowly getting to a good point. And plus, last year just kind of sucked for me. I was just in a funk. I'm I just gotta white knuckle through this and then get back to my. And now I feel more creative. I feel like I'm getting my creative energy back. Right. My mojo is what I kind of consider it as. Yeah. So I feel like I'm getting back to a good place and things like that. So that's in with photography, how and why I even wanted to originally do photography was it originally started back in high school, and Mr. Bevel, he basically just supported me and showed me that I did have a good creative eye for this, and it's something I always was kind of passionate about. And then it was always stuck in the back of my mind. Okay, photography is something I want to get down to eventually, and eventually I kind of worked up to it, doing shitty jobs. I worked at Costco and delivered pizzas for a bunch of years with Domino's, and delivered groceries for Vons, and so I know what it's like to be doing jobs you don't necessarily like, and that ultimately motivated me more to just keep going towards photography. Right. And eventually the plateau reached its pinnacle, and I started sliding down, and it's been amazing ever since. A long road though, a lot of just ups and downs. Is this what I should be doing? Is this right? Am I doing it right? There's no real right way to do it, so I just got to do it my way and just kind of slowly figure it out. And then you just start building up clientele, and then you're like, oh, I'm surviving. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Yeah. It's such an amazing feeling. It's incredible. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, though, feel free. I'm just I feel like I'm blabbering.
No, you're not.
No, it's
totally
all
not.
very insightful.
And
stuff like that. I did. Was there? You mentioned why that you wanted to go and start your own thing. Was that just a gradual feeling that was building up while you were working with the boudoir? Just kind of I don't know, you reached a staleness to it or something like that? Was it?
Do you want, or?
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I was growing increasingly unhappy working there. I won't go into detail, but
Yeah.
I just, you know, it was the job that I've had the longest in my life, besides coaching song, which was like a whole nother thing. I mean, I didn't even really consider coaching song a job because I barely ever got paid well for it, so it was more like a hobby. I always had to have other jobs and was going to school and this and that. The longest I'd ever been at a job before that was maybe like a year and a half or 2 years, and I was at this job for 4 years. You know, it was, I just think I have that kind of like have to move, have to go, and it's not a neurotic kind of thing. It's
Right.
more just like in my soul, like I gotta go experience something new. And I was tired of honestly waking up and not being like excited about my day, like waking up kind of feeling shitty already, and then having to get dressed and drive in traffic to go to my job, and then to be there and to sit in this office. I mean, we're in a studio, so I got to photograph, which is a lot cooler than a lot of other people's jobs. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a badass job, but I just was like, this is not all there is. I'm going to be 30 soon, and I'm capable of so many things, of so many talents. Photography, there's people that make way more money than I'm making now doing it on their own. I can do that too.
Right.
I want to do that too. And I want to be self-sufficient, and I want to wake up, you know, nobody wakes up every day and is like, woohoo! You know, like that's not true.
Yeah.
But I want to be in control of how I spend my time once I wake up, and not working my ass off to get, like, overworking to get my paycheck, like working the amount I should be working to make ends meet. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I felt way overworked. Like, I was shooting every single day, 5 to 6 days a week, not getting paid enough,
Right.
in my opinion, for how experienced I'd become after being there for 4
Right.
years. You know what I mean? Like, sure, when I started, it's one thing, but after basically being like the silent face of a business, you know, not like it was just me, but me and another photographer, like, we're putting out all the images and we're keeping everything going, but we're not getting raises and we're not having any recognition. And
Right. Right.
I care less about the recognition, although I do care a little bit because I am a Leo. I care more about being compensated, and so yeah, and I just knew, and then I would say all those things, and then at the same time it was just like, but you know what, regardless of all that, it's time for you to move on. Like, it's time for you to go. It's time for your next adventure. Like, you gotta turn the soil over. Like, it's time to get moving. Like, you gotta work something else out, because you're not gonna do this the rest of your life. It's not feasible. It's not. This job wasn't created. This job per se wasn't created, but you can take your knowledge and what you've learned here, and you can make your own
exactly.
thing.
Right.
Exactly.
So
and that's what you're supposed
that's
to
what
do,
I did.
really.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's
you
what I
should
did.
feel lucky you do have all that 4 years of experience, especially working in like a really busy studio. Like,
Yeah.
that's got to be
I mean, I
incredible
photographed
knowledge. Yeah.
almost 600 or over 600.
See, that's an
women.
amazing thing to put on a resume. Unfortunately, you probably can't put a lot of those. Can't use any of those photos as.
No, I can totally put them on
okay.
my resume. I mean, I can't use the photos, but I can, like, I mean, if I say on my website, you know, this is what I've done, and my work kind of speaks for itself, like,
And that's the beauty of the website for a photographer. That is a resume. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
It's so easy to
'Cause
look. This is what I can do.
I have this thing where I'm like, I'm never gonna wear a polo or black slacks again for a job, and I'm saying I'll never have to put a resume together, but I probably will. But at that point, I hope it's more of like a portfolio resume and less like a boring resume. Like,
Yeah.
if I have to put a resume together, I want it to be of my creative work, not just a general like, this is where I went to school, this is my job. Because, like, I'm sorry, but that shit's old and stale.
Right.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And it's
Resumes suck.
It's almost like that stuff, I feel like, is just becoming less and less important, like meaningless, because
It is
Really is
meaningless.
experience. It's all about experience.
everyone's
what
going
you,
to-
what you can do, what you're going to bring to a job or a client.
right.
Yeah.
I've always felt, even within a company like mine, I've always felt like the interview, the face-to-face is where I kind of like come alive, because you can only put down so much on a piece of paper. But like, let me tell you about like my experience here and like how I've handled situations and things like that. And I guess it's just getting yourself face to face, you know, with if it's like clients for you or just show, like, this is what I've done. Like, look to see what I've done, like the work I've put in and stuff like that. Like, that's where you really can sell yourself.
But remember, like, see, this is the flaw in the plan. We spent so much time or like energy, like how to format your resume.
Oh yeah.
How it looks like.
Oh yeah.
How to write a cover letter. Don't get me wrong. I'm really glad I know how to write a cover letter, but like, really, like, is it that fucking formal? Like, can't you just put it in a way? I don't know. It's just so like corporate. It's just uptight, and so whenever I think of resume, I just think of this like thing that's like ugly looking.
Yeah.
It says your name at the top. It's got a bunch of dates on it, and places you work, and you have the bullet point. Like, what? It's like just like no.
Yeah.
Like, write a letter, maybe. Maybe just the cover letter. Hey, write a letter why you're qualified for this job, and then if we like you, we're gonna meet with you.
Yeah. What's funny about that too is recently I had to put together a resume just for like an intercompany job. And, like, I'm just detailing, like, what positions I've had. And I'm like, this speaks nothing to what I've done here.
Exactly.
Except for where I was standing.
Did you write everything?
It's not like
I felt like it. Yeah.
applicable.
But what the point I was going to make, though, is, like, I was like, okay, well, how do I format this? All you do now is open Google Documents and type in resume. And then there's, like, 500 resume templates.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, which is great. But at the same time, it's, like you said, it's like, why did we place so much importance on learning this when it's just like...
Who were the people that created those 500 templates, and why was that a job?
Yeah.
Right.
And now people are just kind of like, okay, you know, they just blaze through it. Like, does it even matter anymore that you went to school?
Even reading it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's what ultimately has always mattered is how you relate to people and what you can offer in a business sense. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
To me, to any job that you would want to have.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sound like a resume snob, but like really, like get the fuck over the resume.
No.
Totally agree.
Right?
Totally agree. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I am curious to see where that actually goes, like, in the future.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start a movement. No more resumes. I know there's a lot going on with the upcoming election, but I have a very important issue to talk about. I'd like to bring it to your attention.
You're handing out, like, leaflets.
Yeah.
No more like, what the
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. I got the coolest stickers. I went to San Fran for, this was like almost a year ago now, but it feels like it was just yesterday. I went to San Fran to see a DJ with my friend Tucker, and it just so happened I didn't even know I was going up there on Pride weekend, and it was the Pride weekend where they just announced that gay marriage was legal, and I found myself in San Francisco, and I was like,
wow,
holy hell, I'm in like a movie right now, you know, like this is like a monumental like part of life.
Yeah.
Well, we got a bunch of like cool random things. So we got these stickers and they say legalize gay pot.
Oh my god.
And I got like 5 of them. I put one on the fridge. And I'm just like, I just love these stickers. And everybody that like is dear to me that comes over, that like, I'm like, do you want this sticker? And they're like, what the fuck is this, Sarah? And I'm just like, just take it.
That is the funniest thing ever. That is hilarious. That is one of the funniest things ever. God damn, that's like one thing I wish I would have thought of.
Right, yeah.
Legalize gay pot.
Legalize
like,
gay pot.
Yeah, it's so great. It's just got like a rainbow on it, but it's just like a 3-color rainbow, you know? Like it's so fucking cool. I wish I could describe it. I know my dad came over and looked at my fridge one time and he was like, did a face of like, I'm just gonna look the other way.
Yeah.
But there's also stuff on there about like getting baked as an apple pie and stuff. So whatever. Yeah.
He's no stranger.
Anyways, I have some extras, so next time I'll bring you a legalized gay pot.
Oh,
sticker.
I would love one. I would love one.
I mean, it's like, is the pot gay?
I think it's just an ironic statement.
No, I know, but like I just like to think about it.
Oh, okay.
Like, is it like like, imagine, that's why it's so ironic. Like,
Yeah.
is the pot gay? Or is it gay because the people smoking it are gay?
I would have never even thought that.
I just love it. I just
Yeah.
I just think it's the coolest thing ever. I just love it. I also really like stickers, so.
That is so funny. I almost want to put that on my like coffee mug and just bring it to work. And
Right.
just
Yeah.
watch people like lose their minds over
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I'll give you one.
Okay.
You can coffee mug the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll be like, this is a souvenir. Relax.
This is from San Fran, 2015. May 2015.
Yeah. When it all went down.
When it all went down.
And then I'm like, you know what? We got one half of the sticker done. We're just waiting for the other.
Wow, is that recent? I feel like it happened a long time ago.
It was last year.
May 2015.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost a year now,
Yeah.
you guys. What
Yeah.
was that,
Coming
like
up.
3 months away?
Yeah.
9 months ago?
No, it's 2 months. We're almost in April. So
Yeah,
May.
April, May.
Yeah. Any, I don't mean to cut it short, but
No.
any last minute things about, with my two entrepreneurs here, my two photographers?
No, but I would like to, well, I guess yes then. I would like to encourage anybody that wants to potentially start their own business or wants to break free from the tyranny of corporate whatever to look inwards and kind of connect with what you were passionate about as a child before any of that mattered and go from there, because that's what really matters about life. Is pursuing your dreams is the cheesiest thing ever, but following what you care about and doing something that's meaningful with your time, because you don't have a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people that do enjoy being an accountant.
Right.
Some people enjoy being secretaries, but I know a lot of people don't like the environment they're working in. And you're the only one that can control that. So you have to take power of yourself, and you don't need psychedelics, you don't need anything. Just sit with yourself, do a little meditating on what you really want in life, and just like what Sarah said, dig deep in what made you happy as a child, what made you happy when you were 15, you know. Doesn't mean maybe you were into going to concerts, but as 15-year-old, but there's other things you can incorporate into your life that will bring you to something that's worth doing as a career. And start off with a hobby, you know. Get passionate about a hobby and see where that takes you. If you enjoy woodworking, then get a woodworking shop going, and then still work your other job, and then hopefully you can transition doing what you really love doing. So there are steps you can take to find your passion,
Start down
break
the path.
free.
Yeah.
Exactly, you just got to start down
You
the
can
path.
never tell where it's going to lead you.
And you can
gotta
skip
have
around
focus
paths, man.
in
You
it. Yeah.
could jump around all over the place. You will find what you enjoy doing. And there's plenty of people out there who've done a bunch of shit. There's guys who have built surfboards for 20 years, and then they decided, you know what, I'm going to become a photographer because I've been doing photography for 15 years, and people like my photography, so I'm going to start doing photography. There's plenty of great jobs you can do on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You can start your own business. It doesn't even have to be a creative thing. It could be, you know, just be your own CPA, be your own traveling nurse, you know. You can do things like that.
It starts small.
Yeah.
You just have to go towards it. And people, if you go towards what you care about, for lack of a better word, the universe will support you.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, power of positive thinking. I know it sounds corny, but if you really think positive, it can form your life. It can change it. Keep
Just
you on
think
a good
about
path.
legal gay.
Someone made that sticker.
Yeah,
They took an idea and they went with it.
Exactly.
And it has forever
And it's
affected
spreading.
me.
Yeah.
It's out there.
And now it's
In the
in
ether.
cabin fever air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And, yeah, and best of luck.
Thank you.
We will be following your journey.
Oh my god, I love you guys.
Yeah, you can reach. You want to do? I have a recommendation. We're going to start doing recommendations.
Oh,
at the
yeah,
end.
yeah.
It could be
Let's do
anything, a specific podcast episode, a TV show you're watching, a book, movie, anything. Basically, just a recommendation.
And we're starting a book chat. So
Book chat.
Yeah, book chat. So we're gonna, get a group of people. We're gonna pick a book. We already picked one. I picked Stephen King's. It's called On Writing. a memoir of the craft, so it's basically his process. Have you read it before?
Yeah.
You've read it?
Oh.
Do you want to do our book chat eventually?
Sure.
Okay,
I'll have
awesome.
to
awesome.
reread it. It was a while ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to, that would be awesome. So yeah, we're gonna do a book chat, and I think I lost my thought. What were?
Recommendations.
Recommendations. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Well, since we're on the subject of entrepreneurship, if you listen to the Tim Ferriss podcast,
Yeah, good one.
is awesome.
Yep.
And a lot of stuff we talked about today, he gets brought up constantly within his podcast, and he always has fascinating guests on, and he always talks about their process, which I always
Yeah.
find super interesting.
Yeah.
So, any aspiring entrepreneur or just anyone who's interested in that in general, that would be my recommendation, is the Tim Ferriss podcast.
Yeah, Tim Ferriss is great. He's got books, he's got podcasts, the
Mhm.
dude's out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great inspiration, too. If you're
Yeah,
an
I love
entrepreneur or
the
anything
guy.
like that, he's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Right.
For my recommendation, I would do Duncan Trussell's most recent podcast with Jason Tebow, the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. And Jason Tebow, he's one of my favorite comedians. He's like flying under the radar, I guess I would say, but he's hilarious. He does a podcast, a sports podcast called Punch Drunk. But on Duncan Trussell, on their podcast that they had, they dive into Jason's troubles with alcoholism and just being a comedian. And then Duncan Trussell, he's such a phenomenal interviewer and wordsmith. So just check out Duncan Trussell's Family Hour. Any of his podcasts are great, but specifically the one that I just listened to with Jason Tebow, check it out. That's my recommendation. Kind of putting you on the spot, but
I am
if you,
super on the spot.
it could be a recommendation, anything, a new band, music, whatever. I'll
I'm
edit,
gonna
so-
recommend. This
okay.
has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah,
But I have a
anything.
few friends that are in some local San Diego bands, and I would love to throw them out there
Yeah.
because they all have a different sound, and I want to support my friends. So, Grizzly Business is one, and they're like a group of 4 dudes doing. I hate to compare music to other music, but it's kind of like, Strokes, indie,
Uh-huh.
a little pop, a little bop, a little rock and roll.
Yeah.
The Verigolds, it's Verigolds. They are kind of like a wave, psychedelic, rock, folk group. Really unique, really cool. And then Botanica Chango, which is just fucking rad to listen to. Kind of hilarious, kind of deep, kind of awesome. So support your local music and check out those bands.
All right, good. So,
Very nice.
all right. Before we go, you can reach out to us on Twitter.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Snappity Chat at Sean Evans Photo. That's SeanEvansPhoto.
And I'm on Twitter at Pacmatt, Pacmatt. And please look for us on iTunes and subscribe.
Subscribe, leave some comments, and let us know what you guys think. And of course, you could always find the podcast on our YouTube channel, Cabin Fever Podcast, and we also have a Facebook page, Cabin Fever Podcast. So like, subscribe, do all those fun things, and support your local podcasters.
All right. Until next time.
Thank you.
Man, I ain't feeling so alive. I give myself a little time. There's nothing that is so precious. I just go one step at a time. Cause all I wanna do is have some fun. Man, I ain't feeling so alive. I give myself a little time. There's nothing that is so precious. Let us go one step at a time. Cause today for the first time the world is right. Lately I've been dreaming of the California sun. My 9 to 5 is over. It's time to have some fun. Put my bags all in the backseat. Pick my baby up at 6. While we're chasing as the sunset. Holding on to this. Holding on to this. Ooh, ooh, we're 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 holding on to this. Ooh, ooh, yeah, we're holding on to this. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I've been dreaming on California sun. 9 to 5 is over. It's time to have some fun. Put my bags all in the backseat. Pick my baby up at 6. I'm chasing as the sunset. Holding on to this. Lately I've been dreaming on California sun. 9 to 5 is over. It's time to have some fun.